And we are live. Welcome to the Beauty and Violence Podcast.
Good
All
morning.
right.
Good
Man,
morning.
yo, listen, man. Oliveira, he's a rare breed. Like he's one of the rarest like breeds in MMA. Cause usually when someone goes through the journey that he's been through in the UFC, your body and your mind just can't keep up the what it needs to be able to survive. Like you look like a Rory McDonald. Rory McDonald is like a what could have been type of story. Usually a guy like Oliveira, who's had a journey as long as he's had, will usually either break down mentally or break down physically. This dude has he's like the most one of the most blue collar UFC fighters I've ever seen. Like he's had this super like long career. By the way, he's only 32, but he's had a
Yeah.
super long career. Like the career of his career is as long as like a lot of people who are in their 40s
Yeah.
in the UFC or in MMA in general. And throughout that whole career, he basically corrected all his mistakes. He corrected all his mistakes. So now he's at a point where he barely has any flaws and he looks immortal in there. Like imagine having all the data you need like from all your losses, but then your body and your mind hasn't broken down. That's a crazy amount of like power to take in to now. You understand what I'm saying? So he's fortunate enough to not have broken down like all those years, and now he has all that knowledge. So I can see him being a dominant champion, and not I can see him not getting beaten for a while. So I'm definitely excited to hear you guys' thoughts.
All right, John.
Like he's he's the personification of hard work and evolution because the man doesn't stop evolving. Every time he goes in there, it seems like he learned a new trick and he learned a new trick. And it's just like you said, like where he's at number wise is like the tail end of someone else's career. It's like this man is just starting. This is crazy. Chael Sonnen brought up an interesting point a couple days ago on a video where he said that his biggest only worry with Oliveira is that in the past we've seen him break, we've seen him quit, and that's his biggest worry because Chandler's a pressure fighter and Chandler's the type to make you quit. Oh, those days are gone, my man. Those days are gone, man. I don't know if he did the Jorge Masvidal living in the woods deal or whatever. Whatever he is doing, whatever his team is doing, they need to keep doing it and keep doing it, keep it fresh, and keep this man on his toes, keep him thinking. He is so freaking exciting when he fights. He's, I definitely could see dominance in him. He's got a tough road ahead of him. He's had a tough road. He's fought a lot of people, but he's got a tough road ahead of him. He's still got
So
Dustin Poirier to deal with. He's still got Justin Gaethje to deal with. He's got a lot of hitters to deal with right now. I'm not saying I don't believe in him. I'm just saying this is good for us as fans. We have just like fans that are fan like that when they love the technicality of the sport, which is what I love. That's why whenever I tell people, when people ask me like, oh, like give me a fight to watch that's gonna make me want to watch MMA. And I always tell them Benson Henderson and Anthony Pettis, the last show of WEC. In my opinion, it's one of the most technical sound fights. The groundwork, the striking, the Showtime kick. I mean, everything about it from bottom to top is one of the best fights as far as seeing what MMA is about, in my opinion. There's gritty fights, there's like people that kill each other in the ring, but this is a technically masterful fight for people to watch. And that's what I see in Oliveira. He's super, super technical. He shows you every aspect, but shouts to Chandler though. Because when Chandler had him on his back and he dropped him down, I was here like, no, don't do that. I thought it was over right there. And he fought it. He fought the arms and then exploded up. And I was like, this is everything we thought it was gonna be. I thought once Oliveira would have had him on the floor, especially had his back, I thought it was over. Chandler needs to get his props. He's probably the only man alive to do that, to get out of Oliveira's like rear naked, if there were one. But Oliveira's got some interesting fights. I was talking about it over here where the obvious is Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor supposed to be the next defense, whatever. But then you got Justin Gaethje waiting to wins, stuff like that. So, and then there's like, what do you do with Gaethje? Because Gaethje's gonna want a title shot next season, this and that. I was like, Beneil Dariush should fight Gaethje.
That's what we're saying. Well, yeah, that's basically what we were saying yesterday. Or no, we're saying Chandler versus Dariush.
That's another one. But because
we're saying Chandler
versus... I mean, I guess, yeah. Either way, because I said Chandler is probably more likely only because I don't see Gaethje taking that fight.
Yeah.
Gaethje right now is on his Kobe Covington shit. He's like,
yeah. Well, okay, so we all knew it was going to be a very exciting fight. We all knew that both of these guys are dangerous in different ways. What's beautiful about Oliveira is that his jiu-jitsu was always really dangerous. So to see his striking and everything else up to par with that now, to see him striking with the best in the division and dropping deals and finishing deals with his hands, it's amazing to see. Chandler, tough guy, pressure, power, dominance. I don't feel like there's any shame in that loss for Chandler. You know, I feel like if you're going to lose, that's the way to lose, and that's the person to lose too. Mm-hmm. It was pretty scary. It was pretty scary to see how hurt he had Oliveira in the first round. But Oliveira's like, you know what? This is a championship fight. I've been fighting my whole freaking career for this moment. I'm not going to give up here. It's not going to happen. So very, very deserving champion. And as far as the skill set, he does have the skill set to be dominant as far as the danger that he poses to all the people in the division. But like you said, it is a killer's role.
So I want to speak to that for a second, right? The killer's role. Like, what's harder than what Oliveira has accomplished? Like surviving the Shark Tank of the UFC for as long as he's done it, to realize a championship in a spectacular fashion. There's nothing harder than that. You know what I'm saying? He has to have had the longest journey to a win like that. Man, yeah. and then another thing, right? So I wanted to point out, like, his career has made him, like, it has perfected him physically and mentally. Because I'm thinking, I just put into the chat, I was like, okay, Chandler's about to break Oliveira, because I was seeing a slight like flashback of like when he fought Felder, but then we're watching the second round start, and he comes right back into the middle, doesn't give up any ground. It just starts like working. Oh man,
that's exactly.
When he came to the middle,
yeah. Prior to the fight, we were saying that, like, he's okay. He's like, okay, we all know how great he is on the ground. He showed his dangerous, jiu-jitsu in the first round. Dangerous. And Chandler's like, okay, I survived that. And round 2 comes, Chandler's like, okay, that's in his head now. Alvarez like, don't forget, I got hands too. I got his hands too. Oh man, beautiful.
He came right back. He came right back to the middle. Didn't give up any ground. That has to throw you off. If you're like a bulldozer type of fighter, like Chandler, right? That has to throw you off a little bit, because I feel like he thrives the most when he's moving forward. And I think kind of the same thing with Oliveira. Like, he thrives when he's moving forward. But it seems like what's his name? Chandler, that was more of a pattern disrupt for him than it was for Oliveira.
I want to speak on 2 things you said. So when you wrote in the chat, Chandler's about to break him, right? I literally was writing. I was going to write, I disagree. I wrote, I dis, and then somebody said something and the fight started. I never wrote it because I saw Chandler, how tired he looked going to his corner. So I'm just like, and then Chandler got cardio. Chandler's been in 5 round fights, whatever. It's cool.
Yeah.
But something about his demeanor said, like, this fight is far from over to me. I was like literally writing, I disagree, and I never wrote it. But speaking to his, like, Oliveira's journey to the top, outside of all the shit he's had to deal with, and I'll try to say this and make sense out of it. It's not only the fight with the fighters and all that stuff. It's his fight with Dana White's hypocrisy. Like, he could have had a title shot a long time ago. Dana White choked up this lightweight division for so long, sucking on on Conor and Khabib's meat for so long that he, like, damn near 5 years, this lightweight division has been choked up. Conor was the champion for 2 years, didn't defend it once. Khabib was
Yeah.
champion 3 years, defended it like twice, and then retires, and then 5 months later, Dana decides to say, "Hey, this guy retired." Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Like, you have all these amazing, amazing contenders just dying to get in there, but you just like, how good does it taste, Dana? What the hell? Like, let these guys fight. You have a lot of talent. You got a lot of people you can market, including this guy right here. This, oh my God, this guy. And the shit he had to deal with mentally on the come up, not like you said, mental, emotional, all that stuff. The mental aspect of having to be a contender in the lightweight division these past couple of years, I can't imagine how frustrating, how pissed off these guys have been. Kudos to this man for not only staying in, but getting better. And these guys need to be scared.
Well, now
he's still durable.
Very durable.
He's still durable.
Still got a fucking chin on him.
So the question is this the special performance Khabib needed to see to come back? Or is it too far-fetched to, like, you know what, I'm not going to come back and hold up the division if I'm retired?
Nope. I can tell you right now, nope.
Man,
he needs him to defend that belt. And like, Oliveira needs to show dominance. Khabib is all about legacy fights. Oliveira, even though he just won this belt, is not a legacy fight for Khabib. Even though he owns all these records on the come up and everything like that, he's not a legacy fight. Now, if he comes out, let's say Conor McGregor to win. He washes Conor McGregor. Dustin Poirier fights this guy. He washes the winner of that. Like, he's washing the top and the cream of the crop. Maybe 2 years down the line, Khabib was going to be like, you know what? I asked my mother. She said it's okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
But right now, hell no. GSP is the only man alive that's going to take Khabib out of retirement right now.
Man, son. I don't know if that's coming from my place or wherever, but I saw like an airplane went by.
Neighborhood, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man, hopefully not a drive-by. But anyway, yeah, Oliveira, man, like he's definitely marketable because, like, look at what he did. Like, sometimes the fight speaks for itself. Like because like Anderson Silva wasn't like the most exciting guy in terms of like interviews and that type of stuff and trash talk. So like his fighting is what made him such a big phenom, like, to the world. And I feel like Oliveira has that same thing in him. Like, when he stepped to the middle like that. Matter of fact, when he started the fight, I was like, am I watching like Edson Barbosa right now? Like like when the round started, like he was flooring Chandler with like leg kicks.
The first
I'm
leg
like,
kick.
nah. Yeah, I'm like, nah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, he's had this like air of invincibility lately. And again, I think that comes from like that somebody said something pretty disturbing in Joe Rogan's podcast. Like, this girl, she was saying how she dated this, she's a Muay Thai fighter, and she dated an MMA guy, and the MMA guy, he almost gets knocked out. And as he's getting, when he's on the ground, like the guy is ground and pounding him, he like puts his hands out to protect himself, but puts his hands out like he's scared of the shots that's coming. And she said that moment made her turned off, and then she ended up breaking up with him. And Joe Rogan was trying to explain to her that, there's different factors that make up a fighter. Like, basically, you could be at a point, you could be a fighter who has broke down at one point, but then you could that moment could hurt you so bad that you're able to persevere like the next time, or never break again. So what I'm saying? Like, he said that you can learn like to have that kind of mental toughness. You can learn mental toughness.
Yeah.
And I agree with that, especially when you look at, a situation like Oliveira had. Like, Oliveira, you could see that there's that slight, we're human beings, so you're going to have that slight moment of doubt at points. You're going to have those moments of fear. This is what makes us human. You understand what I'm saying? And, I forgot where I was going with that. But Oliveira, he's basically worked on that mental part of himself. And I feel like now he's kind of like, he has that invincible kind of thing going on. Like, he's built that toughness and he's built that skill. Oh man, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Lastly, one more thing on Oliveira I just want to speak on. It's something I think I've said on the podcast before, but I say it in a lot in private, that I feel like there's a super importance to these major fighters, especially champions, to learn English. And I know it may sound biased, but English is the language of the world. And you brought up Edson Barboza, and like Edson Barboza at one point was the scariest dude alive. He was the Usman of his time. Nobody wanted to fight this cat. He's terrifying. But nobody really knew about him because it was, he always needed the translator. He didn't talk much, this and that. And I feel like Oliveira's stardom, in which he deserves, would just magnify if he would be able to learn English and speak English to the people the way Edson Barboza did in his interview. Edson Barboza's English sounds phenomenal right now. And he sounded great. And the way he spoke to the Houston crowd, and he melted them away. I think this man, and a lot of fighters, need to do well with learning English. I think for their career, not for me.
Yeah,
I think it's just gonna elevate him because this whole translator deal, and it takes forever to get your point across. He goes to Chandler, he has to call the translator so he can say whatever to Chandler. He has to call the guy to say whatever to Joe Rogan. It's just like, this is the time. Take that time every day. Put an hour or two a day every day. Just learn some English, man.
Yeah.
I think it would help him. I think it would boost him.
Yeah.
Yo, can we speak to how mad Dana White was
during the press conference
of that result? Like Dana White, I found him to be kind of like irrational, like how he was like reacting to like certain questions, like because like you could tell that Dana White is mad because like the guy asked him something about Jake Paul or Triller or something like that. He said, "I don't give a shit about that." Next question, right? And then he continues and goes on a rant for like 10 minutes.
But that's Dana
about something that he doesn't care about.
Well, he
supposedly. Does. No, but what I'm saying is he might not have cared about that. But I think if Chandler would have won, I felt like he wouldn't have like given that so much like emotion. You know what I'm saying? Like
the Triller question you're talking about.
Yeah, the Triller question. I feel like he was already in a bad mood. Like I felt like the UFC wanted Chandler to win because
disagree with him.
You don't feel like the UFC wanted Chandler to win?
No, I mean that he wouldn't be pissed about the Triller thing. I think he purposefully is trying to create public beef with the company.
Okay.
I think that's how Dana works. I think that's he's trying to form something there. This man is smart. He may sound like a scumbag here and there, but he knows what he's doing, man. He's one of the smartest men on the planet when it comes to promoting. And it's like, he says they're texting him all the time. They're hitting him up. He's like, stop fucking texting me. I don't care what the fuck you're doing over there. He's like, keep doing what you're doing. I don't give a shit. I'm promoting fights over here. I don't know what circus you running over there.
So he's good at creating drama, is what you're saying?
He's the best.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
The best. Real drama, seemingly real drama. Because people like Bob Arum and the old school guys, it's all so fake.
It's different,
now.
Yeah.
Dana White looks like he talks with people like the way he just says "fuck those guys." It sounds like it's coming from the heart,
Yeah.
But I will say that Dana White was probably upset because Chandler was like the way that they were promoting him. One, he speaks English, he's American, it's sexist. So they were like kind of building him up to be that new face, I guess.
You heard those USA chants in the crowd like crazy.
Yeah.
My cousin was like, "Why?" I'm like, "They in Texas, bro. This is America land right there, bro. You kidding me?"
But I will say though, the crowd did give Oliveira his respect too. I feel like if it was in Florida, then Oliveira would have been booed a lot more.
I want to maybe we could use that as a transition, maybe, but I want to speak on the disrespect they gave to Beneil Dariush. Oh my God, the way they booed that man consistently, almost throughout his entire interview. That's crazy, bro. That's fucking crazy to me.
Well, that speech was terrible.
But here's the thing.
I thought it was hilarious. He said, "Where's my wife's car? It's been 6 months. It takes Tesla forever to bring you the car." That shit is hilarious.
Oh man, on national TV. But I don't know, man. I feel like one last thing I wanted to mention. To be fair with Oliveira and the whole English thing, you have to almost consider like how much did he have to dedicate himself to be the Oliveira that he is, he probably had to like sacrifice English, like to be at the point that he's in, because he's so rare. This is a very rare like situation. Like, how many fighters do you ever see like when they're supposed to be in the tail end of their career, they're just beginning? Like, fighters say that all the time. Like, it sounds good. Like, they be like, you know, I feel like I'm just getting good. Like, I feel like I'm at the beginning. No, you're not. Your body is like 80% done, and you're and mentally you're about like 70% done. So, I mean, he's legitimately just getting started. This is literally like he's turning over a new leaf, and he's starting a fresh career. He's still durable, mentally strong, all that stuff.
I'm with you. I completely understand. Like, it's very difficult to learn a language, and I mean, like, right now in his timeline, it couldn't be a better time, because you're talking about the rest of his career and post career. That English is gonna help him like crazy, man. Like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now with the whole Dariush Ferguson thing, I feel like what's his name? No, not even. So like Dean Thomas, he said like the best quote like I heard for the night, like when they were calling that fight. He basically said Tony Ferguson got away with not having fundamentals, and being able to just use his unorthodox stuff like early on. But as you get older, and then you're not clicking on all cylinders. You don't have like, you know, everything about you meant, you know, those fundamentals are gonna show even more. You know, when you don't have that sense, or you don't have the same instincts, right? You know, when you don't have those same instincts, the same sharpness, right? That's gonna, the fundamentals are gonna expose themselves even more. And when I was watching that fight, I was just thinking like, man, like he doesn't look technically like good anywhere, like tonight, like anywhere, like even like wrestling. One thing I never understood is, how does he even get taken down as easily as he does? Like even before now, like even before he fought with Justin Gaethje, I always thought that his takedown defense was like really weird. Because he's a wrestler, he's an All-American. Like, why are all these people taking him down? Like Edson took him down like in the past. Kevin Lee took him down, had him mounted. Like I don't really understand that. So that part of his career is like definitely showing right now, and it looks super sad to see, because he can see he's not that dude anymore. You know, you could see that in his face, like you know, at the end of the fight, like you could see that he sees he's not that dude.
Yeah, when you say that, it makes me think like last night we were talking about it, especially when Dean Thomas mentioned that, you know, it's that like that style Ferguson has is a young man style of fighting. It's that pop, it's that creativity, that thinking on the fly, switching it up. That shit don't happen at our age. Like we get a little comfortable here and there, you know. And I think about people like, we were talking about Eddie Murphy doing stand up. Like, everybody wants to do stand up. I was like, I don't think it's gonna work, because Eddie Murphy's style of comedy is a very young style of comedy. You know, he was very brash. He didn't give a fuck. He said what he wanted to. He can't do that now. He's not even that guy anymore. So he'd have to literally change everything to last. That's why I give Alistair Overeem props. You know, Alistair Overeem was a savage back in the day, and when he realized that jaw can't hold up no more, he switched up his whole game, and he lasted. He even got close to a fucking title shot. You know, like he did his thing.
He got a title shot.
He got a title shot. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, he made himself last by switching up everything.
Yeah.
And Ferguson, the only way he's even gonna make a name for himself now again, or make another run, is he has to change everything. He's gonna have to become a more complacent fighter. He's gonna have to go back to his wrestling, especially jiu-jitsu stuff, because, you know, I just don't know how many more shots he can take, man. I'm grateful that Beneil missed so many of those ground and pound shots. I'm grateful for Tony, because Beneil hits, bro. And Beneil was just missing every ground and pound shot. And I was just like, please don't hit him. Don't hit him. Like, oh my God.
That heel hook. That freaking heel hook was hard to watch.
Man.
It's hard to watch, man. But Ferguson
tightened up.
Yeah. Here's the thing about him. Like, Tony Ferguson is at a point where being a warrior is the only thing that he feels like he has left. So it's like he'd rather break like anything than to tap. because then that's admitting to himself like fully that he's not that dude.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that keeps him going is knowing that he's like he'll be considered a warrior still. Like, people still, that's all people talk about now. Tony is tough. Tony's tough as nails. He's a warrior. That's it. But after that, he really doesn't have anything else. He doesn't have anything else left.
Here's the thing about the whole thing. Ferguson, it's kind of scary what's going on because it seems like his brain doesn't operate the same anymore. It seems like after that Gaethje fight and that unnecessary weight cut he did, his brain just it doesn't start to say. Even the way he punches and strikes, it's every fight looks like it's declining more and more and more. And this still, if he doesn't change something up quickly, he's going to get some severe CTE in his next few fights. You know, even the people who aren't in top five, top 10, whatever. So it's I'm not sure what he can do at this point of his career to really get back on track. I personally think it's over for Tony Ferguson, and it's scary to say because Ferguson, I think fighting is all he has. So he's had problems with mental issues before, and this is a serious thing. So it, I don't think that we need to see him take any more damage, to his brain.
To me, what was like what's one of the saddest parts as well, like, Tony Ferguson, the reason why he was El Kakui was because he was during that El Kakui time, like, he wasn't really in touch with his mortality. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you thought of Tony, when you thought of the matchup with Tony and Khabib, you thought of something that was inhuman. You thought of something
Unbreakable, yeah.
like, right? So like, when Tony Ferguson wasn't in touch with his mortality, that's why he had that air of invincibility. Like, even if he gets dropped, he does some kind of roll to survive, and then he gets back up, and then he submits you. Like he can walk forward with reckless abandonment. Like, he'll break you with his cardio. um you know but now, and part of the reason why he was like that also is because I also felt that Tony Ferguson was also a little off, like a little crazy in a good way. Now it seems like that fight with Gaethje almost brought him in touch with himself as a human, and now he's fighting like a human. And
Mm.
that's the worst thing, to be in a place where, before you have that air of invincibility, you don't have that human side to you. Then you get to that point, at the end of your career, when you're older, your reflexes are lower. To get to that point, then it's probably like scary. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
he's because I feel like he fights scared, like more scared. Like, he never used to. I used to see him when he used to fight. I used to see him as someone who was like fearless, but now I can see he's like way more like apprehensive when he fights. And yeah, I think that messes him up.
Oh, and also too, also one thing as well about that, even though he's like he brought back the old cultures, he's Freddie Roach, all this stuff. I get the feeling that he's still running the show, and no one's telling him it's over. I get the feeling that the kind of person he is, he won't really become a full student anymore. Like Tony Ferguson, Tony Ferguson. So I feel like he's still running the show still, and because of that, he's not getting the proper training and preparation he really needs, at this level of competition.
That's the thing is I think mental preparation is more important than anything. Going back to the whole switch up your style. His style is not going to work at his age and his mentality right now. I just don't. I don't see him firing on all cylinders the way he's. To be that creative and to think on the fly, you got to be on a whole nother level up here. I don't see it no more. And I don't think he's ever going to be a complacent, patient fighter like that. I just don't see it. But
Do you guys feel like Prohaska is kind of like a Tony Ferguson, or do you feel like he has more like fundamentals and more like, is there comparisons between the two, or do you think they're different?
that's an interesting question.
There are comparisons, but I feel like they have a different mentality, and I feel like Yeah, like Yuri is wild, but he has some good fundamentals as well. You know,
Okay, I'll say this about Yuri. The difference between Yuri and Tony Ferguson is that Yuri goes by like Yuri's whole thing is he's similar to Shevchenko in a sense where he has that monk mentality. Like he
he
he's like on
lives.
a lifelong he has that lifelong quest to like mastering himself as a human being and a fighter. So Tony Ferguson, where he was a great fighter, he might not. I don't think he was the type of person who tried to master himself as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that might be the difference between the two. Like Shevchenko and Prohaska, they have like this philosophy that they live by,
Yeah,
and that helps you in other areas, as well as fighting. That might be the biggest difference between him and Tony Ferguson.
Definitely agree.
yeah. When you brag about, when you brag about breaking your student's rib, it's not really a good,
Or cutting weight or
a good
cutting
look.
weight twice, like
Yeah,
cutting weight when you don't have to. Like Prohaska doesn't do those type of things. Like
yeah.
you get the sense that Tony is being a little like sometimes you get this feeling that he's kind of being
Machismo.
uh no um how do you call it, like he's pretentious a little bit, like with the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
like what he's
He's
saying, what he's gonna do to the guy or whatever. It almost sounds like he's reading a script out of a movie, like sometimes.
yeah, yeah. Like it's very machismo. Like this unnecessary stuff sometimes. Like, dude, you don't have to train. We get it. You train hard. You don't have to kick poles. You don't have to do things that are absolutely ridiculous.
Talk shit to a man like Benil Dariush, who's like the nicest
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
What are you doing? That Dana White privilege was a great joke, though.
It was.
No,
It
it was
was.
amazing.
That was one of the best lines I've heard at a press conference. I'm gonna be like,
You have Dana White privilege.
Dana
I,
couldn't
I
breathe.
didn't know Tony had it in him.
He said Dana White said that joke is the reason he brought it up to 75K.
Oh, really?
He said that at the post
Wow.
fight press conference.
Dana White
He was
privilege.
like Tony Ferguson, and he was like, "Well, what about?" He's like, "The Dana White privilege joke." He's like, "That was great." There's a
Wow,
few
75K.
random things I want to talk about from last night. Like two random things. One, well, not random, but this is very known. There needs to be judge reform in this sport ASAP. Like these judges, I'm sorry to say it this way, are stupid. These guys don't understand what the hell is going on in that cage. One of these judges in the Venata Grundy fight gave Grundy 30-27. Get
Crazy.
that fucking moron the fuck out of the building. Any fan in that building can judge that fight better than him. He needs to go. He needs to be banned immediately. And then one of the earlier fights, Tucker Lutz and Kevin Aguilar. One of them gave a 30-27 to, I think, Lutz too. And I mean, it's just criminal what these guys are doing. These are people's career. They fucking put their life on the line every day, and you're going to fuck them that way? I mean, I couldn't believe it when I heard 30-27 for Grundy. I was like, what planet are we living on right now?
Even Caitlin, I believe, even Caitlin Kagan, a judge gave her all 3 rounds too. I'm like, wow, that's insane. So honestly, when you have people who bet on fights too, the bad judging is a terrible thing.
It's
You know,
horrible.
horrible
Horrible.
thing.
The
I just think
question
it's
is, how the
hilarious.
hell do you fix it?
I mean, I just thought it was hilarious that I always think it's hilarious how the analysts call out the judges on national TV.
Yeah,
Like you guys are
my
all
name.
like working.
yeah,
Yeah, like we're all working. They're all working in the same environment. But DC and Joe Rogan have no problem like shitting on them.
Fuck them.
Like DC,
Right.
what did DC say? Like last, he was like, I mean, at this point with this judging, it could be 2-0 either way. Yo,
But
I love DC.
just to spin it around, this is the random one that I maybe I could be alone in this. I don't know. Did you guys fully were in the Tucker Lutz fight?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
Aguilar?
Mhm.
I felt like I don't want to go too Joshua Fabia here, but I felt like the commentating was very odd. Like in the whole beginning, the whole first round is like any little thing Lutz did, they were like highlighting. Aguilar was piecing him up and doing really good work, and they didn't say a damn word about Aguilar in that first round.
You know what? You're
No,
right. You're right.
And it was
I
very
agree
strange.
because Aguilar to me was like his like and especially like we were watching that fight closely, and I think Aguilar was winning that won that first round.
I
Like he was
think so.
catching him like
I think so.
Yeah.
so. Yeah, that's
And
weird.
it's like, and it goes back to like, like you said, like with Michael Chandler. We all know Dana White wanted Michael Chandler to win. Quite obviously. Michael Chandler is so goddamn marketable. They know he wanted to win. But Tucker Lutz is very touted. Like Tucker Lutz is a very, very major prospect for these guys.
That's why. Yep.
Great record. He has a great wrestling base. He's a very evolving fighter. They see money in this cat. And then when I saw that, when I'm watching this fight and I see Aguilar, boom, 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 combo, boom, kick, and then like Tucker Lutz touches his stomach, they're like, oh, left hook from Lutz to the gut. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, am I crazy? I look at my cousin, I'm like, am I crazy? And then right after I said, am I crazy? They do it again. I'm like, look,
Yeah.
pacing him up. They're not saying anything. It was.
I didn't.
I
Yeah.
don't want to believe that a man like Joe Rogan, who I love, is going to be involved in something like that. But that's odd, and it needs to be spoken about. That first round, the way it was commentated, was very strange.
I didn't mind. I had money on Lutz, so.
So I did too. But what do you call it? Jim says this a lot. Like I'm gonna quote Jim. Like life, if you live long enough, life will make you a hypocrite, right? So, so what do you call it? At the end of the day, I try not to look at a person with too much high regard because I know that we're all human and I know that people like Joe Rogan could do scumbag shit and so can DC. You know what I'm saying? So I try not to over glamorize like anyone, cause like I'm sure I do hypocritical shit from time to time and I'm sure Joe Rogan does too.
You know what though? A lot of times you see that kind of biased commentary when it comes to, like you said, prospects or people who are expected to win. You see more biased commentary, on their side, on their end.
Yep. For me, it was blatantly obvious in that fight, and it was like kind of disturbing. Every now they try to mask it, they try to look, but I mean, there wasn't a word said about Aguilar, and Aguilar was obviously hitting more and doing more better shots.
Yeah.
Where Aguilar already threw 4, Lutz might get a tap on him. And it's just like the way they reacted when Lutz touched him, it was like, I don't like this. That's a little weird. Let me ask you guys. Go ahead, Rose. Go ahead.
I was gonna say let's touch on Barboza real quick.
That's exactly what I was about to ask you.
Oh, okay. Oh man, son. Like Barboza is another dude. Like he's had some pretty brutal losses.
Yeah.
But like he seemed last night like he didn't lose a step. He's a weird dude where like if you're ever putting him against a striker, like it doesn't matter what point he's at in his career, like he has like such a high chance of like creating like destruction. Man, when he started coming out with those leg kicks immediately, like it was just like crazy because like that was vintage Barboza. Like he came in with a plan. But Shane Burgos, his forward pressure is so amazing. And I feel bad sometimes for Shane Burgos because I feel like he's one of those people like Jeremy Stevens. Like he's like one of those guys who's like always in the fight. Like he can beat anyone in the top. He's always in the fight. He's exciting, but he just like falls short. Like that, that has to be a crazy, a fucked up feeling to be someone who's considered to be elite. And you just keep falling short like against the best guys. But yeah, what do you guys thought about it?
I'm curious to see if Barboza can hold this up because he looks phenomenal at featherweight, which blows my mind like crazy because I mean this man couldn't make barely weight when he was higher up, and he went down. He did the Jose Aldo. These Brazilians, I don't know what the hell's going on over there, but I don't know what crack they sell on the street that's not coming up in drug tests, but it's working. And you said Burgos. Burgos is an interesting guy, man. I like this little 1-2 that he does. That
Yeah,
it looks like he comes in with a jab,
yeah.
like almost like a feinty jab, where almost 99% of people would step back, come with another one. When he comes in with that one, that fucking right passes by so fast. He did it over and over again. I was like, oh my God, that shit is mean. And it was getting in perfectly, into Barbosa's guard. But Barbosa is scary, man. He's starting to look like on his come up scary. I like it. I like it.
Is he having like a Oliveira type of moment too? Like where his like
I don't
career
think
is
we're
like
there
kind of
yet.
starting over?
I don't think we're there yet, but what's that? 3 in a row now, right? Since moving to featherweight, or 2?
Well, he potentially got robbed by Ige. We're talking about that.
Yeah,
Like
twice.
that was a very close fight, like him and Ige.
Agreed.
But Ige won that. But you could argue that he should be 3-0 right now,
Yeah.
like in featherweight.
Yeah, so he's 2-0 right now. With a very, very obviously close fight with Ige.
Also, there's no featherweight Khabibs like that can just hold him down and dominate him on the ground. So that's why I kind of like his chances of like going really far in the featherweight division.
You know what I like about featherweight is that it's really young. Because I'm looking at the thing right above, and you got Bryce Mitchell, Sadiq Yusuf, Giga Chikadze,
Oh, that's gonna be a good fight.
Yep.
Arnold Allen, who's a great fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You still got the Emmets, the Caters, the Zombies, the Yairs, the Beat. He's got another death row ahead of him too.
Yeah. But honestly, going into this fight, I had Edson winning. I don't know why he was underdog. I couldn't understand it. He was underdog for the entire time. I don't know why, considering his last fights, he looked really, really sharp. But the one thing that I knew he would give problems to Shane with is the speed. Edson's speed is incredible. He still looks as fast, even in his last 2 fights. So Edson has, Rose was saying last night that Edson has like those fast twitch muscles. His body is just like that. Some fighters just have that. And Edson, those leg kicks were scary. His shin was pouring out blood. He was just like, I don't even care.
He didn't give a shit.
I don't even care.
We're talking about it. It was like watching like those old school kickboxing movies like
Yeah.
Ong Bak and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it was just like he was just Edson was just so game. Like his leg is leaking and he's still just battering this dude with a bloody leg. Like
Yeah.
and then the dramatic effect of that knockout where he gets the delayed reaction, which was really scary, by the way.
Yeah.
But man, like I don't know, Edson Barbosa gets those moments where he has like momentum in a fight, like when it was him against Hooker, this fight.
Man. So
Man,
because of that, we really don't know how far he can take it. But I will say it's amazing while it's lasting now. Edson, keep it up, man. But that division, he's gonna have some fights.
I feel like one of his toughest matchups is like if anything would be like a guy like okay, so these are his toughest matchups in my opinion. Max Holloway and Giga Chikadze.
I think
matchup wise, to me, those are the toughest ones.
I mean, you got Zabit, Ortega.
I think he can break Zabit's legs for some reason. Like I feel like he can.
And Arnold Allen.
But then again, Zabit has a crazy ground game though. Like
Yeah.
Zabit can get him down and submit him.
Arnold Allen is another one. He's a sleeper in that division.
He's a sleeper.
Arnold Allen?
Yeah.
He's a decision beast, but he's a sleeper, man. He knows how to grind people out. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
As long as Edson can not get taken down,
Yeah.
I think he beats anybody in this path right now, the way he's fighting.
Okay.
I mean, his leg kicks alone, besides how brutal they are, you don't see them coming. He's so fast with them. He's perfected taking away your sight. Like you just can't see him. You have no idea it's coming. By the
Even
time
we
you
don't see
cover your
them.
face, your leg is chopped off because you don't know what the fuck is happening.
The thing is, it's so blinding that we don't even see it. Like
Yeah.
we don't even see when he's about to turn a spinning wheel kick. Like every time those came, I was like, "Yo, where'd that come? Where'd that come from?"
Yeah.
Like, just imagine being in front of him.
It's so good. You know Joshua Fabia taught him that. You know.
That's a good point.
Oh man, let's touch on how disgusted, how embarrassed I was that Andrea Lee beat up Valentina's sister in that fashion. That was a fight I didn't expect that outcome. I did not expect
Neither did I.
to be that way.
Neither did I.
Especially seeing Lee's prior fights in the UFC. Man, I was sad to see that. Really sad.
I don't know why I was under the impression that her sister fought at strawweight. I don't know why.
But here's the thing about it: like she started her MMA career a lot later than Valentina.
Yeah.
But that's not even. But okay, she can't do anything about that. The thing that really bothers me though is the fact that she's not even fighting great for a Muay Thai fighter. Like where's your Muay Thai championship skills? Like she's not even really using that. Like that her striking and her her striking pedigree is way higher than Andrea Lee. So I felt like just with Muay Thai alone, she should have been able to do a lot more damage. But she's throwing random spins and all this other nonsense. So
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to her wrestling. That wrestling that she worked so hard for to beat the Violence Queen, who's another great grappler. You know, like I don't know where that went. So yeah.
To play off what you just said is that my biggest criticism of Andrea Lee KGB is that she fights with a forehead. You know,
Yeah.
she does
Shooting where she gotta
this a
hit.
lot, like you know, just leaving that big ass forehead open for everybody to hit, and it's like,
Yeah.
not that she has a big forehead, it was a joke, but it's and when you're a Muay Thai fighter, that's perfect for you, you know, like because you're down lane, you're right there, like it was like you said, it was nothing. There was nothing of her craft you saw there. It's like it's almost like she gave up. It's almost like she looked at KGB and was like, I got nothing for you, girl.
But the good
Valentina's-
news, yeah, I was gonna say the good news is that she don't have to worry about fighting her sister ever, because she's not gonna smell the top 5. But anyway, yeah.
No sir, no sir. He said she's not gonna smell the top 5.
I'm gonna be right back.
Where's he going?
I have no idea.
Also, next week we have Rob Font and Garbrandt.
That's gonna be an interesting one. That card is pretty good too, and we also have Jack Hermanson on that card, and Edmund Shabazian.
Oh, they got rescheduled for that one. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and Yan Shannon versus Carla Esparza. Don't sleep on Yan Shannon. She's also like top. She's in the top 5 now. So,
I mean, I don't sleep on her at all. Kind of sleep on Carla here and there, but
Carla's been showing out lately. So,
but I'm super ready for this Adesanya fight, bro. Super ready.
yeah.
12. That's another month away, man. Yikes.
Well, thankfully we're almost out of May, so we're almost in June for that card.
But for Font Garbrandt, you think Garbrandt's gonna come back?
I don't think so. Like it's possible, but Font is so much bigger, and also Font is really good defensively as well, and he's just like pure boxing. So I can see Font hurting him faster than Cody hurts him. Now Cody is really fast. He's fast, so it could be a problem too. But
not only fast, but he's good at as switching his positions and stuff like that. So I mean, Garbrandt is obviously a phenomenal fighter. It's just all the shit he's dealt with. He was coming back from to come to a killer like Font.
Yeah, we saw how Font knocked out Marlon. So
I mean, my boy. I've been with my boy Font for a minute. You know, I'm going for him.
Yeah. He's back.
Welcome to the party.
Nah, that's true. John's definitely been back in Rob Font like ever
For
since
a
we were
while.
like watching fights at Studio Square.
That's a whole fact. That's been my man.
Man, are we doing predictions right now?
We talk about Font Garbrandt. Like, what are the chances Garbrandt can come back as good as he was and stuff like that? With everything.
Well, I mean, a Sunsao was no slouch, and he fought a very patient fight with a guy who was extremely hard to fight patient with.
Yeah.
You know. So, but I think Rob Font should get that one because I think Rob Font to me is a better boxer technically, but I think Cody is like faster. But I think Rob Font is more durable, so I think things are more in like Rob Font's favor on that fight because it's gonna be a boxing fight.
And that's the thing. It can go either way when you talk about it like that. Garbrandt's hands is don't sleep on it. I have nightmares to this day what he did Dominic Cruz.
Yeah, that was very hard to watch that time.
And I was on Dominic Cruz heavy, bro. That hurt me.
It hurt me. It didn't hurt me that as much that Cody beat him more than the fact that it's how Cody beat him. Like he just embarrassed him. Like he was popping and locking.
The wave.
Like and then whap. It was bad. It was bad. I got nightmares of that shit to this day.
But that's one of the best performances in of all time, like in the UFC. Like when I think of like the best performances of all time, right? So there's a few that come to mind. Of course, Max Holloway versus Cater. Max Holloway again versus Brian Ortega. Then you got ones like Cody versus what's his name? Cody versus Dominic Cruz, and then you have Dillashaw versus Barao.
Yes.
And I think Dillashaw versus Barao the second time was even more amazing than the first time because he did that through like 5 rounds. What was it? 4 rounds? He finished him in the 4th round. So there's certain performances that are like that, huh?
That's a great reference right there. Because at the time, if I'm not mistaken, Barao hadn't lost in like 10 years.
Yep.
And
and Dominic Cruz was the champion for how long, right?
Yeah. And the other thing was too is that was the first time that I saw Dillashaw fight like that because he fought very Dominic Cruz style, which he kind of still does today. He never used to fight like that. He came in dancing and popping and locking the way Dominic Cruz. I mean, almost identical. If you watch that fight, watch any Dominic Cruz fight, it looked like he hired him to copy everything he does. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one, and that's next weekend.
Then also, it was like when Adesanya beat Whitaker too. It's because of not only how he beat him, but who that man was that he beat, the champion. How easily Dillashaw handled him. How easily Garbrandt took out the greatest bantamweight of all time, and how Adesanya comes out to the Reaper, who's like the best fighter. Period. We all knew he was at the time, and comes out dancing like he's the champion, and then washed him.
Yeah, starched him.
Man.
All right.
So you can never count Garbrandt out.
Right.
Never. Whatever my qualms have been with him in the past. You can never count him out.
Okay.
But Font is a guy.
So do you guys want to do some predictions for next week? We can predict the main event, the co-main event, and the Edmund and Jack Hermanson fights.
Okay. For me personally, I have who's the co-main event?
Yan Xiaonan versus Carla Esparza.
Okay, I have her like kicking her head to the moon. I have Edmund Shabazian, believe it or not, coming back strong and beating Jack Hermanson. The reason why is because I think what's his name, Jack Hermanson is open a lot for like really like hard shots, and that dude is no joke. and that dude is extremely deceptive. Edmund Shabazian. I think he's gonna win by head kick, like probably in like the first round.
Head kick first round.
Head kick first round. I think I don't
You
think
think
he's
about
I don't think
Shabazian?
he's even gonna, huh?
I think Shabazian's gonna head kick Hermanson first round.
Yeah, I think he is. I think if you're gonna take down Edwin Shabazi and dominate him, it has to be after a certain period of time. But I think when he's fresh, he's like extremely dangerous to anyone in that division. So I think he's gonna yeah, kick him in the head. Then the what's the main event? The main event, Cody. I got Rob Font winning by, damn, but Cody is so sharp, man.
It's tough.
But his chin is not really there anymore, I don't think. He's gonna have to use like blinding speed, but for the whole fight and avoid danger. But I think Rob Font should win that like in like the third round by knockout.
Okay, John.
I got Font, second round TKO, not knockout, TKO. I think he's gonna hit something where Garbrandt, his body's gonna kind of give out, and he's gonna finish him on the ground. I just see that happening. I actually see Hermanson decisioning Shabazian. I think Hermanson's gonna have a good comeback. I mean, Shabazian's no joke. That fight can go either way. I just see Hermanson decisioning him for some reason. And Yan Shonan is gonna decision Carla Esparza like she does everybody else. She's gonna put the pressure on her. She's gonna take her deep water. It's gonna be over.
Yeah. So I also have Rob Font, but I have Rob Font by first round TKO. I have Yan Shonan
First
winning
round, wow.
first round. Yeah, yeah. I have yeah.
See that though.
Yeah.
I chose second being nice for Garbrandt because Garbrandt's skills are a joke. I see a first round too.
Yeah, Yan Shonan is going to win by a potentially boring decision because when they're going to be standing up, she's going to be landing, and Nicole is going to have to make it boring by holding her against the cage or against the ground without doing any damage.
Mm-hmm.
But Jan's still going to win by decision still. And I have Edmund also pulling off the upset. I have Edmund pulling the upset off. Potentially first round. I feel like Jack Hermanson might try to take it to the ground immediately, actually, this time. And I feel like it's not going to work. I feel like Edmund's very prepared for this fight, and he wins the upset. First round, TKO.
Just noticed that Ben Rothwell is on the prelims. Fight night. A heavyweight title contender at one point. It's on the prelims of a fight night.
That's the game.
Yeah.
Yancy Medeiros is on the prelims.
Who's
Court
he
McGee. Court McGee was a dark horse for me for a while. Court McGee was what Beneil is to me now. He was always that dark horse. That run he had in the Ultimate Fighter and how I chose him to win too.
Yeah.
It's an interesting preliminary card for a fight night. Some names on that shit. Odd. It's very odd.
But yeah, that wraps it up for today. Stay tuned. We're gonna be here we're definitely gonna be here reacting to the Garbrandt fight. So
100%. Expect fireworks. That
fireworks.
major fireworks.
Peace.
Peace.